How much time we got? Oh, we got time. We got like, oh wait, shit, I wasn't ready for that. Hold on. Yeah.
Not too much on video, on the photography.
What?
We are limited on timing.
We can make it happen. So high strung. I like the color. I think I like, yeah. That's about it.
I swear I look like a cartoon character. Look. Woo!
All right, I'm getting video right now. All right, let me push in on video and then we're gonna do the same thing, photos. All right. So what are we shooting today?
We are shooting a very simple Ralph Lauren Christmas aesthetic, or like golf. I mean, golf. Yeah.
Okay.
That vibes. Let's do me sitting on that stool. Come on.
Oh man.
And just center me. Take this quick.
Okay, so I brought the FX2 with me today to shoot primarily photography and play around with it a little bit on video. I had just gotten the camera. I am primarily a photographer, but I do a lot of content creation for video, and what appeals to me with the FX2 was the ability to have one camera that does both things very well and excels at both photo and video. And it is worth noting, I am shooting natural light here today, but you can shoot off-camera flash with the mechanical shutter in the FX2, and you can set up the button configuration and all the customization just like you would your A7 IV or your A7R5, and then switch over to video and you've got a full cinema cam with shutter angle, Cine EI, you've got active cooling, everything is there, the audio handle, it's all there, so you get the best of both worlds. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the rolling shutter. Did you see it there? If you're not, a videographer, maybe you don't immediately, notice that, but you can see those wavy lines, vertical lines, and, it's a thing, and it depends on the type of videography that you're doing. If you're shooting a lot of maybe fast action sports and wildlife, you want maybe something with a faster sensor, right? That's not going to have that rolling shutter. Even at like 12 milliseconds, you're still going to have some wavy lines if you whip the camera around like I did there. It's still going to happen. It's just not going to be to the degree that you saw it there. Now, does it bother me? No, it doesn't. I don't shoot ping pong. I don't do whip pans all day long. And I've said this before in another video. So everyone's got their own use cases. This camera is perfect for me and my use cases. Now, the one thing that bothers me with all Sony cameras that I've used so far is you can see the IBIS working, right? Especially on lateral movements. You can see the IBIS just kind of do some jerking every now and then. And once you see that, it's hard to unsee it, and you really notice it. And one of the features, however, that really attracted me to the FX2 is the dynamic active stabilization. And not a lot of their cameras have that feature, and that's one feature that I really wanted, and so they do have that in the FX2. Now, if you want to correct the rolling shutter and the stabilization even more, you could use Sony Catalyst Browse. All right, guys, so here's my FX2 video clips, and I'm looking at them in Sony Catalyst Browse. If you're not familiar with that application, I'll leave a link below in the description. This application will allow you to access your camera's sensor data, gyro data for stabilization, rolling shutter reduction, and horizon lock. So you have these features available to you. So if the rolling shutter and the stabilization is bugging you, you can come in here and you can stabilize it further and reduce that rolling shutter. So I've got this one video here selected, and I'm going to come down to the bottom down here where it says adjust clip. This is not going to be a full Catalyst Browse tutorial. I'm just going to show you an example of how we can reduce the rolling shutter and improve the stabilization in the video, right? And I'm going to hit analyze. So I checked both rolling shutter reduction up here on the top right, stabilization as well. And I'm going to hit analyze. And this is a pretty short clip, so it doesn't take very long at all. You can see with the auto mode, it cropped into about 30%. I have the strength set to default. I didn't choose horizon lock, not really applicable here, but I'm going to set this to manual because we're just cropped in too much. So if you're going to use this, you got to plan ahead and frame your shot so that you're leaving yourself some extra room, right? But I'm going to pull this back down so I have a decent crop. So you can see I've got a closer, it's still cropped in a little bit, but not bad. So I'm going to play this through and I'm going to stop it right where I whip pan over here. So here's the difference, right? So look at those on the left. This is the before. Look how bad that rolling shutter is, and look how much it's reduced here. I mean, it's still there, obviously, but it is quite a bit reduced. Let me see if I can find that spot again. So here's another example. So the angle is reduced quite a bit. Not great, but it's better, right? And so we've got some stabilization and some rolling shutter improvement. I would say with the FX2, one of the advantages that it has is the ability to crop in. So you can set a custom button and you can go into crop mode, or you can put an APS-C lens on there and it will go into crop mode. And you get about a 13 millisecond sensor readout time, which reduces the rolling shutter quite a bit shooting in Super 35. So that's another option. And I think it's an advantage over something like the FX3 and the FX30. It's just a feature you're not going to get with those, the ability to crop in, do a crop zoom, so your prime actually has two crops to it, right? All right, guys, so this footage is smooth as butter. I'm shooting in dynamic active stabilization handheld. It's a 1.2x crop when you go into that mode. It's on a 33 megapixel sensor, so no big deal. You will get a 1.5x crop if you decide to go into 4K 60, but I'm a zoom shooter. I'll just take a couple step backs or zoom out. It's really no big deal, or I'll have my shot framed up, ahead of time with the lens that I have. So that's not a big deal to me. The camera downsamples from 7K when you're shooting 4K 24 and 4K 30, so you get great quality. You have that option of setting a custom button also to do a Super 35 crop, to switch back and forth from full frame to Super 35, which is a huge advantage. If you're using, say, a prime lens, then you automatically have like two focal lengths. So that's something that you're not going to get with the FX3 or the FX30. The tilt viewfinder is something, as a photographer, that I gotta have. You go outside on a sunny day and you don't want to rig it up with a monitor and all that, and you can't see anything on these screens. So the viewfinder is a great option to have. If you ask me, why didn't I wait for the A7V? Well, it's kind of apples and oranges. The A7V is not a cinema camera, and I mentioned 6 or 7 features that the A7V is not going to have that the FX2 does have as far as cinema camera features. And just the fact that it doubles as basically a full-fledged photography camera with off-camera flash if I want to shoot in studio or natural light or whatever, it takes great photos. Another feature that I didn't mention was you can take a photo while you're filming video. Okay. I didn't know that it had this feature. Now it takes, I think it's only maybe like a 10 megapixel photo. It's not a high megapixel photo. Correct me on that if I'm wrong. It's not a high megapixel photo though. But it is there. It's used for shot markers and things like that. But you could, in today's technology, someone asked me one time, it was just by myself. I said, which would you rather have, photo or video? And they said, I want both. And I said, well, I need a third arm and another camera, Well, now I could do that, theoretically, take video and you can snap the shutter and it will take photos for you. They are JPEGs, they're not RAWs. But again, use Topaz or something like that. You could upscale them very easily. So that's another feature that, dare I say, I don't know if the A7V has it or not, or how useful will that be to you, but it also depends on what do you already have. I have an A7R5. So the A7V, I've already told you the 4K 60 no crop doesn't impress me. The 4K 120, I don't need it. Like, it's too slow for me. Maybe for you, I could see wildlife and things like that wanting to really slow it down. So again, each to their own, right? But I just don't need that stuff. And having the A7R5 already with the 61 megapixels. I already have the dual flippy screen. I don't need the faster sensor because I shoot a lot of models and things like that, and they barely move. So if this video helps you figure out, I'm not saying don't upgrade to the A7V or don't get the A7V. It's a fantastic camera. No doubt it's one of the best cameras out there. I'm just telling you, as far as the FX2 goes, I've been real happy with it, and I've given you the reasons why. I'm not the greatest videographer in the world. I use it for content creation, but you could make some really serious videos with this camera. So give the video a like if you liked it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought, and give it a subscribe if you want to see more on this channel. And thanks for watching. I'm getting it. What do you want to do? Come on, you're in the same pose. You gotta switch it up. You're gonna break that cast. You gotta say ready, and then I'll be ready.
1,
Yeah.
2.